Welcome to Let's Save on a Teacher's Salary. My name is Asana and I've been permanently employed in the Eastern Cape since May 2023 at the age of 34, going on 35, and now I am 36. So before we get started, let's update this. And I want to thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't, please consider subscribing, as that helps the channel to grow and just makes me happy. It does. I know I don't usually talk about it or react. I'm trying really hard not to focus on the numbers, but what I want and the conversations that I want to have instead. If I focus too much on the numbers, the only thing I would talk about every day is how much I earn, because that's what YouTube pushes more. But I'm a vast person. I have different interests, different conversations that I want to talk about. So I'm not going to let a few numbers, well, a lot of numbers, stop me from talking about other conversations. Okay. I am so used to wiping chalk with my hand. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to talk about qualifications, professions, and their uselessness. So, I was watching a few videos, actually a lot of videos, and there's this thing that seems to be a big conversation, and it's getting people a lot of views, talking about people's qualification and how useless they are and how stupid people with qualifications are. And I was like, so you look at somebody who has a PhD and your thought is, because they're not doing the things they're doing that you would do with a PhD, your conclusion is that they're stupid. Just saying that, calling someone with a PhD dumb and stupid, is just one of the most craziest things I've seen on social media. Like, people will downplay education so much that it's insane. Okay, so as we know, in South Africa, there's a lot of unemployment, but that is not due to what people are studying, for the most part, because you don't have to work the job, the qualification you studied for. You can study social work and become an administrator in some law firm, right? You can study psychology and become and work in some company in the HR department. So you don't have to specifically work towards do the exact work. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about, people are not even working the jobs that their qualifications can. I think one of the biggest problems, we assume that if you're not working, if you study medicine and you're not working as a doctor, which of course there are famous comedians in South Africa who graduated in medicine, by the way, does not take away anything from them by not practicing medicine. We are so obsessed with the fact that if you study teaching, you must become a teacher. There are teachers who graduates with teaching qualifications, who work in radio. I'm watching the videos and I'm like, are you crazy? Have you gone and lost your mind? And to sit there and just talk about these people being stupid, you studying useless qualification. It means you're not in touch with what's happening in this country, first of all, if you think that people are studying useless qualification, that's why they're unemployed. You're not in touch. We have a lot of people who have qualified with very useful qualifications, and they're also unemployed, because the unemployment rate in South Africa, which is very high, is caused majorly by our government. Half of it would go away if our country was run properly. And if they actually, instead of giving the money that's being allocated to support businesses, if they actually supported businesses. There was a proposal many years ago now that they fund businesses to hire graduates at a fraction of the price, so that the Instead of paying a graduate that comes straight from university, instead of paying them 20,000, why not pay them 10,000 and take two graduates instead? You know why? Because they're going to be doing entry level jobs, and after 2-3 years, they'll have 3 years experience, and they can start applying for a higher post. They can start applying. That was an idea proposed by the DA to help put money in the people's hands. You've forgotten. You think that's stupid. If you think that's stupid, look at the EAs. How much are they earning? So some of the unions were like, no, that is going to make companies exploit. That is going to make companies exploit employees. If that was a stupid plan, then why were EAs done for so long? Most of them were graduates. So you tell me, is it the qualifications people are studying? It's only a fraction of it. That reason is only a fraction of it. The highest fraction is the way the country is run. But you go and blame people who are unemployed. So another video that I watched was, this one blew my mind. I did not expect it. The one where people look down on unemployed people and talk about stupidly about qualifications and talking down on education, it's something that's been done forever, since education was, done. It became viral, if I can say. It became a fashion or a way of life. There's always people who are going to talk nonsense about pursuing a formal education. But if you take it personal, then you're just wasting your time and your energy and your emotion, because those people, first of all, do not know why you're pursuing the education that you're pursuing, and they don't care. That's why they don't know. They don't care, okay? They just want to tell you how to live your life, and they want to make you feel beneath them. Okay. Moving on. So this other video that I watched was about people with master's degrees and PhDs. First of all, I'm not qualified to talk about people with master's degrees and PhDs. Like, seriously. These are people with master's degrees and PhDs. Okay? Better put some respect on them. So as I was watching the video, this lady talking about how she's seeing people pursuing master's degrees and pursuing PhDs and not using them, or not using them to benefit their communities, not using them anyway. They just have them for the sake of having them. And as I'm watching this, I'm like thinking, lady, have you never heard of a hobby? What makes you think that education would be the one thing that is different and people wouldn't use it as a hobby? Some people pursue higher postgraduate qualification as a hobby rather than going on a hiking or becoming a marathon whatever athlete. They would pursue a master's degree, they would pursue a PhD, they would pursue a professorship. They do not care what they're going to do with it. It's just a thrill for them. That's just one category of people. And it's a lot of them, by the way. And when are you going to come here and like, you're not using, they're looking at you like, get a hobby, sister. But I'm going to tell you something else. Not everyone, I'm going to repeat this. The qualification you studied for does not necessarily have to align with the job you're doing. Your qualification, your education is supposed to expand your mind. Period. And then open other doors and whatever, For example, for people who spend time at varsity studying towards the qualifications rather than staying in your rural area, you get to experience a world outside your world. Now, why would I tell children not to do that? I teach in a community that is majority impoverished, which means kids cannot afford to travel outside their own boundaries, So one of the things I tell my children is, if you can qualify to go to university, or if you go to FET college, the government is going to pay for you to go and stay there so you can go and explore the world. If you want to be an actor, guess what? Just qualify to go to Verts, qualify to go to UJ, and go there. And I know this is not a perfect solution, but do you have a better solution for a child who can barely afford food at home? So I tell them, like, the government is going to pay for you to go to school in Johannesburg, and you can go to auditions. You can then get to be in Johannesburg and go to auditions. Because how do you know it's not going to work if you haven't even tried it? How do you know? So this thing of saying people don't pursue master's degrees and PhDs because you're not using them. And then she said, these people are stupid. The audacity of calling someone who actually attained a master's degree, a PhD, a stupid. Maybe it's because I'm a teacher and we've been trained not to call people stupid. And I'm like, that does not colorate. Where is the evidence of stupidity here? Besides, you look at somebody with a master's degree and because they're not using it, your conclusion is the person is stupid? No, you have a problem. You have a problem that you need to solve. People are not using their master's degrees and their PhDs the way you want them to use them. Therefore, Michael Jackson said it better. Start with the man in the mirror. Go and get that master's degree, go and get that PhD so that you can go and do what you think needs to be done. Because some people out there are getting their PhD so that they can get raises at work, that they can get promotions at work. They know they don't even need it. Some of them are doing it for status. Holla. If I wasn't lazy, I would do it too. Some of them are doing it as a hobby. It keeps them feeling alive. It keeps them feeling relevant to themselves, to their communities, to their families. It's a motivation for themselves. They're already earning enough money to sustain themselves and the next generation. They want this. Okay. So we can't all be Elon Musk, right? My brain I'm getting a migraine just thinking how to be Elon Musk. So we have other interests. If we all had the exact same interest, this world would be very awkward for all of us. So take that mirror and look at that man in the mirror and say, let's go do a master's degree so that we can come back and do these things that these people with master's degrees are not doing. That should be your reaction. Looking at the people with master's degrees and not doing what you want them to do and saying, they're stupid. There's going to be a special place in hell for people like that.